Hello everyone, welcome back to the world of English exams. This video is going to be very useful for all of you because we are going to answer all the types of reading strategies. Yes, so we have been getting multiple requests on our website and on our YouTube channel to explain what is the process to answer the different types of reading questions, and as an answer to all your queries related to IELTS reading, this video is released. So basically you will get to understand how to identify each of the question types along with the process to answer them. So we are not just covering the reading methodologies, but I'm also going to explain you how to use that technique in the main exam so that majorly you can solve the problem of time management. So mismanagement of time is a common problem which is faced by many candidates, especially from IELTS academic test. Because academic paragraphs are lengthier as compared with general training test. However, the number of passages are just 3. Whereas for the general training test, you have to read 5 passages, out of which 4 are short in length, and the last one or the final passage is lengthier. So without delaying further, let's kickstart today's video by overviewing the different types of questions, after which I'm going to explain each and every question type in detail with its strategy. So what are we waiting for? Let's start. So basically in your reading test, I would classify the question types into 6 models. Yes, on different websites you would be having different kinds of explanation, but according to me there are 6 types of questions which are internally divided. So the 6 question types are fill in the blanks, true, false, not given, yes, no, not given, matching, multiple choice questions, as well as short answer questions. So broadly these 6 question types are the ones which are very important, and some of them are very time taking. For example, we have matching question types where we have to match one question, one part of a sentence to another, or one title to the paragraph. So such question types are really time taking, but if you can approach it with the right strategy, you can finish it within no time. So it all depends on how well you're understanding the approach towards each of these question types. That is what this video is aimed at. So let's begin our discussion with the first type of question, which is fill in the blanks. Please remember that without fill in the blank questions, reading test is incomplete. Of course, even in the listening test also, fill in the blanks play an important role, but as this video is particularly targeting the reading module, I'm stressing on this. So please do practice fill in the blanks very well, because the common mistake that students are making, I'm able to notice that nowadays, is that they are getting the right answer but not writing it properly. In other words, what I mean to say is that, let's say that you have the instruction as one word only. If you are not reading this instruction properly, what would happen is you will end up writing 2 words. And in this case, I want to tell you that even a small word like an article, the, an, and all that, even they would be considered as one separate word. So in case you write that additional word which the instructions won't permit, then automatically it would be considered as an error. So due to these small, minute errors, people are losing their bands. And especially for general training module, each and every mark is important, because even if you lose 1 mark, your score will drop down by 0.5 band, which is costly. So let's not make that mistake. Internally, I would say that fill in the blank questions are divided into various types like note completion, sentence completion, flow chart completion, diagram labeling, summary completion, and table completion. So basically you can see that completion word is common in all the questions, which means that there will be some blank spaces which you have to fill. In other words, fill in the blanks can also be called as gap fill, because your intention here is to understand what you're looking for and fill in the gaps. So as we have different models of questions, students are confused regarding how to identify them in the real exam. So what I have done is I have taken the passages question types from various Cambridge previous papers, and I have given a glimpse of what they look like, what they appear like, so that the next time when you start doing it, I would advise you to aim at specific question types. This is important because the same strategy which applies for fill in the blanks may not be working for other question types. So you have to be very specific when it comes to this point. And on that note, let me help you to identify different forms of fill in the blanks. We will first start with note completion. It will look like this. The instructions clearly mention that you have to complete the notes below. So this is an indication of note completion. And here you can notice that the instructions specify choose one word only. So stay tuned for just 4 or 5 minutes, and then I'll explain you the various word instructions. So listen carefully, guys. So this is note completion. Moving on to the next kind of fill in the blank, which is sentence completion. So sentence completion would look something like this. You can clearly see that the instructions have changed, and now they mention complete the sentences below. Again, you can see that the word instructions are given in bold. So one word only. Then the next form of fill in the blanks is flowchart completion. Flowchart is nothing but a series of steps which are listed one below another, and this sequence of steps has to be followed in order to finish a process or to accomplish a task. So that is flowchart completion, and here you are able to see a change in the instructions. Here it is mentioned as one word and or a number. So now this is something which every candidate gets confused in. So I wanted to help you out specifically to understand what this means, and I'll come back to this when I talk about the instructions. Then the next kind of fill in the blanks is summary completion. Summary is nothing but a gist, an overview of the given passage. So you will have to fill these gaps by reading the specific parts of the text. For example, here you can see the title called trypanosomiasis. So basically, by looking at this particular keyword, you have to read the related text and find the answer. Here you will notice that the answers may or may not be found in a sequence. This point is particularly important for academic students because they are going to read lengthy passages. So make sure that you understand this point, that summary completion questions may follow an order in the text or they may not follow an order. Similarly, sometimes you will also notice that some options are given under the summary or below the summary, from which you have to pick the right options. This is particularly important for academic because these options are going to be found in the text, either in their original form or actual form or in the form of synonyms. So your ability to identify synonyms for these options will also be very useful in getting the right answer. So I just wanted to show you how that model will look like. So here it is. You can see that there is a passage which is titled as the transport revolution. Followed by the passage, followed by the questions, you have certain options. So one more additional point here is, for the options, you have to indicate the correct alphabet. Imagine that the answer for the 26th question is H. So you're not going to write the answer as Freech. Instead, you're going to write the alphabet H. So whenever alphabetical options are given, do indicate the answer also in the form of alphabets only. If you write the word, then it would be marked as an error. So this is one more common mistake that students commit, of course mainly due to lack of understanding and lack of awareness. Because if you know what you're doing, if you know what you're looking for, you will not make any mistakes. I'm very confident of it. So let's proceed with the next kind of fill in the blank question, which is table completion. Clearly the name suggests that you have to complete the table with selecting the words from the passage. And again the word instructions say choose one word only. So the last and final type of fill in the blank question is called diagram labeling, which will look like this. Clearly a figure is given to you, and this figure contains some description. The description is given in the passage. So it is important to remember that diagram labeling is very important for academic reading. So it's not so important for general training, but make sure you understand how to answer it, so that if you see such a question type, you should not panic, you should not worry. clearly the word instructions say choose no more than 2 words. So this is the trick. If you don't read the instructions, you will end up writing maybe just one word, or which is, if you write one word, it is right. However, if you write 3 words, then automatically it is wrong. So this awareness, this knowledge is very, very important when you are answering any kind of fill in the blank question. And even for diagram labeling, you can't expect the answers to follow a sequence, because the author or the writer of the passage can start describing the diagram from anywhere. So he can describe the diagram from the top or from the bottom or from the sides. So since you do not have any awareness about how the description is done, you might have to read the entire passage in order to get an idea. And in the case of diagram labeling, you can also take the help of the shapes. For example, if you look at this particular elongated thing, it resembles a pendulum, doesn't it? So you will have to find out something which is related to that description. And additionally, it's also telling that it moves as a small arc, so just like in a pendulum. So these are your guides. So you have to notice the shape and you have to notice the keywords, based on which you have to do the labeling. So now that we have identified the various types of fill in the blank questions, quickly we will get to understand what is the plan, what is the approach which is perfectly suitable for answering them. So in order to answer any kind of fill in the blanks, you have to have these points in your mind. The first one is you have to focus on the keywords. So key indicates very important. So these words are very important. They are very significant as they carry a wealth of information. So without underlining these keywords, you might not be able to locate the answer in the passage. And once you know what you are looking for, you need not read the entire passage. You can directly jump to the context. So usually the keywords will be the nouns, verbs and adjectives. Nouns are naming words. So as you know, names are not going to modify. So they are going to remain the same. Hence these will function as clues. Then verbs are action words which can be given in the form of their synonyms. And so will adjectives be. Adjectives are describing words which will describe the various characteristics of nouns. So these words can be taken as important keywords to locate the information in the passage as well as to find the answer. Then the second point is that you have to read the instructions. I told you previously that word instructions and number instructions are very, very important in order to answer fill in the blanks. So I would like to explain about this point in detail. I have verified various sources and I have found that no source is actually giving you how to understand these instructions. So I thought, why don't I just go ahead and split the instructions so that all the candidates can easily understand them and follow. So on that note, I have indicated this, guys. So please look at this. The first kind of instruction is one word only. Means you don't have any other choices but to write a single word answer. But one word only also indicates that you can't write the answer as a number, because you have to write the answer as a word according to the instructions. However, sometimes you will also notice the instruction being given as one word and or a number. Now here comes the confusion. What is the meaning of one word and or a number? So you have 3 different ways of writing the answer. First, you can write just one word. Second, you can write just one number because it's given as a number. So A indicates 1. However, don't be concerned about the number of digits, guys. So it is still counted as one unit or one number. You may also write the combination of one word along with a number. So these are the 3 different ways of writing the answer depending on what you see. So now what I would like to do is I would like to go back to one of the question types where I indicated this instruction. Look at this. One word and or a number. So here you have to take this as a hint. So the question is hinting you that at least one answer will be in the numerical form. Obviously, right? Otherwise you won't be given this instruction. Now by reading the statements, let's see which answer could be a number. fill in the online dash. Obviously, it's not a number. Fill in the online form or something could be the answer. Create your dash. Again, this is not a number. If sent an invitation, you must accept within dash. Within dash means maybe within 10 days or 20 days or 5 days. So this is where you are getting a context of number. Like this, you have to predict the answer very quickly. Let me tell you that it doesn't take a lot of time to do this, guys. But once you are familiar with that, you will automatically be looking for it. And this process is called skimming, quick reading method. So there is another quick reading method called scanning, in which you are particularly looking for identifying the answer. So skimming is nothing but reading to get an overall idea of what is contained in the passage, and scanning indicates that you have to read in detail in order to find the right answer. So now let's go back to our strategy. Then the second kind of instruction is no more than 2 words and or a number. So no more than 2 words and or a number means you have 5 combinations. That means you can write the answer as 1 word only. Obviously, because no more than 2 words means the maximum number of words that you can write is 2, which means you can also write the answer as 1 word. Similarly, you can also write 1 word plus 1 number. You can also write 2 words or 2 words and or a number. Finally, you can write the answer as a number. If you want more clarity on this, guys, please do leave a comment, and I shall make a separate small video on this part, because this will help you immensely both in listening and reading. So do let me know if you require more explanation with examples about this instruction. Then moving on to the last type of instruction, which confuses most of the candidates. You can see that the instruction says no more than 3 words and or a number. Now when you look at this instruction, I am seeing that many candidates are asking me, ma'am, could you please elaborate? Could you please explain what this instruction means? Because we are selecting the right answer, but while writing the answer and after we look at the key is giving us a different answer. So how shall we know how many words we can write? If you have this doubt, please do let me know. And if this is the instruction, no more than 3 words and or a number, you can write 1 word plus 1 number, 2 words plus 1 number, 3 words plus 1 number, and just 1 number. So you have so many varieties of writing the answer. It all depends on whether you have read the instructions properly or not. Moving on with our next key point. Predict the answer with these keywords. So prediction is a very, very useful skill in the writing and reading tests. In writing, you have to see whether you are going to predict something about the future or whether you're talking just about the present. In reading, prediction helps you to find what part of speech could be the answer. That means whether the answer is a noun or a verb, what exactly are you looking for? Then as I told you, you have to use quick reading methods like skimming and scanning. Skimming is where you are overviewing the passage, and scanning is where you are reading for specific information. Then identify the synonyms of the keyword. Don't expect to find the exact words from the question. Often it is the opposite. In fact, you won't find the words exactly in the text other than nouns. Of course, because nouns cannot be given as synonyms, you will find them in their original form. But words like verbs, adjectives, adverbs, so such kind of words can be given as synonyms. In most cases, that is what will happen. So you need to develop an ability to identify the synonyms of the keywords. And usually the answers are seen in a sequence. Of course, the exceptions are diagram labeling and summary completion. Other than for this, the answers for fill in the blanks are usually in a sequence. This makes it much easier and simpler to answer them. Finally, you cannot modify the word. Please remember this, guys. For example, if the answer is development, you can't write develop or developmental. If the answer is photography, you can't write it as photograph. So such word alterations are not possible in the reading test. So whatever word you find in the text, write it exactly, and don't wait until the last minute to transfer the answers, guys. Please do transfer them simultaneously as and when you progress through the different sections of the reading test. So this is the right method to approach fill in the blank kind of questions. Now moving on to the next kind of questions, which are multiple choice questions. Oh my god, so many students ask me, ma'am, can you tell me an easy and quick method to get the answer for multiple choice? There are two reasons for this, guys. Number one is all the options are seen in the text. So students will get confused which answer to select, which option to select. Second one, all the options seem to match to the question. So these are the two major problems which are faced by students. So let me help you with an easy method which will help you to answer multiple choice questions by selecting the right option. But firstly, let's understand that multiple choice questions are of two kinds. So the first kind of multiple choice is where you have to pick one correct option from 3 or 4 choices. So whenever you see that 3 or 4 options are given to you, from these options you have to select one correct option. The second one is where you are given 5 alternatives from which you have to choose 2 options. Now this is something which is different from the other categories of multiple choice, because ever since our childhood we have been practicing the first kind, wherein by default whenever multiple choice questions are given, we are habituated to select just one option. But in the IELTS test you do have the second variety also. This knowledge will also help you in the listening test, because in the listening test also you find this kind of multiple choice. So let's quickly identify how each of these question types will look. So when you have to select one option, this is how the question will look like. Look at the instructions. Choose the correct letter A, B, C or D. That means you have to pick just one option up. Whereas when you see this, select 2 options. So here you have to select 2 letters from A to E. You can't predict which alphabet will come first. So basically any option can be seen first. Some of the options may not be seen at all in the text. And of course we should be able to find synonyms for these words. You can't expect the same thing to be found. Now the problem is still with the options, that too many options are there, all the options look alike and all the options are found in the text. So students find it very difficult to locate the answer, select it properly and eliminate the other ones. So I have come up with this particular strategy which I generally tell students, and many of them came back to me and told that this strategy works fine, mainly in saving time as well as students are ending up getting the right answers. So let's quickly look at it. Read the instructions carefully, because you have to select the correct number of options. Read the question and understand what to find. So by reading the question, you have to understand what exactly you are looking for. For example, look at the 33rd question. According to the introduction, that means I have to go to the introductory paragraph. We become aware of the importance of smell when. That means we will get to know why smell is so important when something happens. So that means we are looking for a situation when we get to realize the importance of smell. When you read the question like that, let's see what happens. Skip reading the options at the start. Now here comes my secret technique. Now basically, because your problem is when reading the options, let's avoid that. Let's not read the options at all. Oh, now you should be wondering, how can you get the answer when you don't read the options? Guys, please tell me one thing. Why is it required to read the options when you know what you are looking for? Yes, so what we are going to do is, we are not going to read the options at all. We are just going to read the question, understand what the question means and what you are looking for. We will read the text, we'll read the passage. Later we will come and eliminate the wrong answers and select the right answers. How easy is that? How cool is this technique? Of course, no technique is perfect until you practice. So take this into consideration, start practicing with this technique. Tell me if you have any problems with that, so that I can make a particular video on that to help you properly with this. So do not read the options at the start, read the related text and select the correct options. So this is one of my secret methods which is found to benefit students a lot. So then moving ahead with the next question type, which is true, false, not given. Oh my god, one more confusing question type. Many students have complained that they are losing their scores just because of true, false, not given, and also yes, no, not given. So let's particularly tackle this problem. First of all, remember to write the answer in the actual way. That means instead of writing true, false, not given, if you write the answer as yes, no, not given, obviously it's a mistake. And of course vice versa, instead of writing yes, no, not given, if you write the answer as true, false, it is a mistake. One more thing, I have noticed that some candidates are writing multiple answers for a single question. That means, let's imagine you are writing the answer for the 10th question. You can't write it as true or not given. I mean, you have to select either of them. You have to either write it as true or false or not given. Please don't give us multiple answers, because that will be a mistake. Then this is yes, no and not given. More or less they appear the same, because the strategy which we are going to follow is also the same. However, let me explain you a subtle difference between both the question types. Now the meaning of truth is that it is a fact. So it is a particular fact which is emphasized in the passage by the writer, sorry. So the writer is planning to tell you or convey a truth with the help of the passage. So if the meaning of this statement agrees with what is given in the text, then you mark it as true. Similarly, false means contradiction, opposite. So whatever is given in the question is not coinciding with what is given in the text, that answer is said to be false. Whereas not given means that the information is missing from the passage. So true, false, not given deals with facts, whereas yes, no and not given will go a step further, and this is about whether the writer of the passage is agreeing with the fact or not. For instance, let's say that I say the sky is blue. That is my opinion. The writer of the passage may feel that the sky is not blue. So in this case, I should not be using my own knowledge about the topic. I might know 1,000 things about the topic, but that is not important. We have to agree with the writer. Just have that in mind, guys. Please agree with the writer's view. That will help you to get yes, no, not given properly. So if the statement agrees with what the writer says, it is yes. If the statement disagrees, then it is no. Of course, not given remains the same, that it is missing from the context. So once you have this basic idea, I am going to give you the process for answering these type of questions. So first one is that true, false, not given will follow an order. So you need not start reading from the beginning of the passage for every single question. So just like for fill in the blanks questions, even these true, false, not given and yes, no, not given will also follow an order. So all you have to do is locate the first answer and then the sequence would be followed. The second one, read the statement and understand what it means. Please don't go with the keywords. Keywords can be synonymized, but meaning would remain the same. So people who have looked for the keywords, just the keywords alone, will never be able to score complete marks for true, false, not given. I have noticed that students who have focused on the meaning are able to score 100% of the marks for true, false, not given and yes, no, not given. So do give it a try. Already I have uploaded a detailed video about true, false, not given and yes, no, not given. The links for which can be found on our YouTube channel. So please do check them out. You will understand what I am trying to say, because there I have explained in detail with an example as well. Then remember, as I told you, meaning matters a lot. Don't just match the keywords. then by using the skimming and scanning skills, you will be able to locate the answer. But how to confirm the answer, whether it is true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given, how to confirm that? So there are 4 conditions for that, guys. I always insist students to follow these caution or these condition, because it will be very, very helpful for them to solve. The first thing is meaning matches, then it is true. Meaning is contradicting, then it is false. Nothing is mentioned in the context, not given. Now the final condition, partial match. That means half information is given and half is missing. Then it is not given. Here comes the difference between whether you are selecting false or not given. You have to select the answer as false when 100% of the information is given and in the opposite sense. Whereas it is not given when half is given and half is missing. So you can watch our video for that in order to understand what exactly I am trying to convey. Then we shall now start the next type of question, which is matching. Under matching, there are so many varieties, guys. The first one is matching the list of headings. Again, this is a time-taking question type. Remember that for matching, the answers will not be following an order. So you may have to read the entire paragraph in order to get the answer. However, by following simple strategies like what I'm going to advocate, you will see that answers can be found much faster. So for list of headings, the first thing you need to observe is that the options are given in the form of Roman numbers. So in your answer key also, you will notice that answers are given in the form of Roman numerals. So while writing the answer, please don't switch to the usual numbers. You have to write the answer in the form of Roman numerals only, particularly for this question type. So here you can see that there are 7 options and just 6 paragraphs, A to F. So one title is additional. So let's look at how to answer this question. You read all the headings and understand what they mean. You have to read all the titles, all the headings. Then instead of reading the entire passage, just read the first sentence of each paragraph very carefully and try to match the title. If you are able to match the title, it's well and good. You can proceed with the next paragraph. If you are unable to do so, then go to the last sentence. Don't continue with the second sentence, because the first sentence is called the topic sentence, where the idea of the paragraph will be introduced. So in case the idea is not understood from the first sentence, you will get an idea from the last sentence, which is the conclusion for that paragraph. So in case you find it difficult to locate the title even after reading the last sentence, you will have no other option but to read the entire paragraph. But let me tell you that this approach will work fine for 90% of the cases. You can save a lot of time. So read all the titles, then go to the first sentence, read it carefully. If the title is found, well and good. Otherwise, read the last sentence. Then of course you're going to use your skimming strategy to look for related words. Once you have finalized on a title, go with the related words, try to find them in the paragraph and then confirm the answer. Now moving ahead with the next kind of matching, which is which paragraph contains the following information. This is a very, very important question type and it is frequently seen in the reading test, mainly for general training. So I can say that without this question type, there is no paper for general training. So it's very, very important. And this comes under matching, because here you need to read the statements given and identify which paragraph contains this information. For that you have to read all the paragraphs, because we cannot predict which paragraph contains the information. That is what we need to find. As the clue given in the questions, A to H, that means there are 8 paragraphs. So you have to read 8 paragraphs in order to identify 3 sets of information. Sometimes you will also notice that there is a special instruction called NB. NB means note beat. So this indicates that the alphabets will be repeated. That means 2 answers can be found within just 1 paragraph. So which paragraph contains the 2 answers, that we cannot predict. We have to read it. But whenever NB is given, the clue is that paragraphs will repeat themselves. That means in one paragraph you may be able to spot more than one answer for more than one question. So now that we have understood how to identify them, let's quickly look at the strategy. First of all, you need to identify NB if given in the instructions. Then you're going to read all the statements. Let me tell you that most of the students waste a lot of time in doing this. Let me show you that. So what they'll do is they'll read the first statement and then read all the paragraphs. Then they'll read the second statement and read all the paragraphs. Then the third one, all the paragraphs. Don't you think it is wasting a lot of time? Instead of that, you can read all the statements and understand their meaning first, so that when you circle the keywords and read the paragraph, it becomes very, very easy to identify the right paragraph which contains the information. That's it, guys. It's so simple, very basic, straightforward, no shortcuts here, just the basic approach will solve it. Now moving ahead with the last kind of matching, which is matching nouns with the information. This is yet another very, very useful question type, very important one also. You will see that there are several nouns which are given in the box. Nouns are nothing but names. So here you can see that the names of people are given and some questions are given here. So you have to match these nouns with the information which is presented here by referring to the text. Again, you can see that there are several options from A to G. That means there are 7 options and only 5 questions, which means 2 names are additionally given in order to confuse you. So do not get confused. The easiest approach is to read all the nouns and don't even read the questions, guys. If you continue reading the questions, you will waste a lot of time. So once you have read the options or the names, just quickly go to the text and circle all the names. Then you read the statements, I mean the questions. Then read the text which is related and get the right answer. So for this also I have made a video on our YouTube channel, World of English Exams. So do check out our reading playlist in which you can find this. So then I would like to show you one more matching which is not very frequently seen, but it is very important, which is matching sentence endings. Matching sentence endings means that the sentence is fragmented or divided into 2 parts. The beginning of the sentence is separated from the end of the sentence. You have to rematch them. Here you can see that there are 4 beginnings, but there are 7 endings. So clearly it is aimed to confuse you, to trap you into selecting the wrong ending. So all you have to do is, like for any kind of matching, you need to read all the statements, predict what could be the ending based on the keywords, and then skim and scan the passage in order to find the synonyms, and finding the synonyms will help you to match it to the ending. Again, there will be certain distractors or irrelevant details furnished in the text which you have to avoid. Then one last question type which is seen in the IELTS reading test is called short answer questions. So this is a lot similar to fill in the blanks, excepting that here you need to write the answer and not just fill the gap. Now we have already examined that the instructions may say no more than so and so number of words and or a number. I hope you remember that. So here when you're writing the answer, you may choose the answer depending on the word instructions. That means you may write just one word plus one number, 2 words plus one number, 3 words plus one number, or just one number. So the process is very simple, but remember that answers may be found in a sequence or they may not be found in a sequence. That depends entirely on the passage. So here you are able to see 6 questions which you have to answer by just marking the keywords and skimming and scanning. No big deal, because usually short answer questions are less time taking and you can easily locate the answer if you understand, if you predict what you are looking for. If you know what you are looking for, you need not read everything. So here I would like to end this video, guys. Quickly, my first slide showed you that there are 6 question types. Fill in the blanks. I hope you understood the approach for this. Then we had true, false, yes, no. Then matching, under matching I showed you 4 types of questions: matching the list of headings, matching the nouns, matching the endings of sentences, and identifying the right paragraph which contains the information. Then we had 2 kinds of multiple choice, one where you had to select one option, and the second where you had to select 2 correct options. Finally, short answer questions. So I hope this video was very useful for you in your preparation process, and if you find this video helpful, please do like it. Your likes and comments are encouraging us a lot to deliver better content and to help you more and more in achieving your target band scores. Do share this video with all your friends, and don't forget to subscribe by clicking on the red button below. So you can also click on the bell icon just beside the subscribe option if you wish to receive regular updates from our channel as and when we post a new video. So thank you very very much for watching the video till the end. I seriously appreciate your enthusiasm and energy. Your dedication will definitely get you a long way, and you will definitely achieve your target scores, guys. I wish you all the very best in your preparation. Happy preparation, guys.